Good morning from Ralph's house. This is just a Sunday morning walk around really. I'm not intending to do anything today. Completely inappropriately dressed. And that's as much as you'll see is my legs. But I've decided what I'm going to do with this fireplace. I'm going to run a beam across there. It won't be oak because I don't think I need to use oak. It'll just sit across the face of that in pine, and I shall stain it down, and then I shall square off this fireplace, get it all swept out, cleaned, washed, and I shall render it right through, so it'll have a layer of cement on all sides, and that should be that job then. I could tile it or whatever, but that's what I've decided to do with the fireplace. But I've got one little job to do today, and that's to wire up that light switch upstairs. Well, I've removed the light switch, as you can see, so I just need to pull these out, which I tuck neatly inside, and get these wires stripped back. So we'll get those stripped. Right, well that's the wires stripped back. Very important, this is your earth wire, and right in the back of the socket there's a little terminal block with a screw in it. You can just see it down the bottom there. Both these earths have got to be connected to that. And indeed, if you had a metal front socket, you'd have to make sure that was earthed too. But that's not the case in this, but we still need to do the proper job. And to do that, we need earth sleeving, which we'll have to put on. So I'll connect up the earth wires first, and then we'll work on with the brown or common and the blue neutral, and show how those are put into the back of the switch. And there's the two earth wires sleeved up and connected into the earth terminal. So the next thing we need to look at is the live or common and neutral wires. Live being the brown one, blue being the neutral one. And on the back of the switch, because this is a double switch, you see, so there are two separate switches in here. This one is your common, so the brown from each switch wire will go in here, and the neutral will go into the L1 terminal. You have got an L2, but that's for two-way switching. So the brown common goes in the top, and the blue neutral goes in the bottom, and that's the same for either one of them. So we'll get those connected up. So that's those all screwed into the switch. So it's just a case of putting the switch back. Right, before I put the socket back on, I've just run a coat of polyfill across all this just to get it all level. Not where all the, the cable conduit was, just to smooth it off. And I'll run over with some sandpaper in the morning just to get that nice and smooth. But before I close that socket, I should point out, and I mentioned about the live in the common and the neutral in L1. Well, technically speaking, the live is live, but of course the blue isn't neutral, it's a live itself, and it's a switch live. So before the light switch goes back on the wall, I have to wrap the neutral wire with a piece of brown insulating tape on both switches to indicate that it's a switch live. There's only going to be me living in it, so I'll know it, but do things by the book. So that's it from Ralph's house, and perhaps see you on Monday.